I've rambled about many things. Just know the topics I cover are not controversial. My opinions are not either. However, some of you have been told that the opinions I advocate on behalf of are those of an extremist. Well, I have the ability to label your thoughts, opinions, and even actions also that of an extremist. Well, here we are. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Daniel V. And, yeah. Before we go any further, I feel it responsible to outline the premise of this channel. We will be covering a specialization of topics relevant to our disposition from religion, politics, history. We will be conducting interviews, and we'll do some fun stuff, sports and whatnot. So let's get into it. So given the discourse of our current situation right now in America, one begs to demand the answer of who, why, and what the boop is going on around here, right? Before we can start discussing anything, who is he that is so righteous to tell me anything? I got to go to two sources. One, the Bible. And in this thing, it's not you just read it, right? You got to do some studying, because I can listen to somebody and I can believe what dude tells me, or I can do my own research. So, the other one is the Strong's Concordance. What you do is you read the text. It's in the King James Version. Now, I know there's a whole debate about King James. Golly, give me a break. And you take this thing, take the number or the word, you go here and in the Greek, because there's Hebrew and Chaldean text of the Old Testament, and the New Testament is the Greek. You go to this thing, you break down the word, you get the meaning, you get an in-depth understanding of what was intended to be interpreted. So, who or what, when or why, right? Well, let's go to Luke 4:18. It says, "The Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, because he has anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor, and he has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, and to preach deliverance to the captives, and recovering of sight to the blind, and to set at liberty them that are bruised, to preach the acceptable year of the Lord, and the day of vengeance of our God." Well, that last part's not in here, but it's in another text, and it means the same thing. So, okay, well, what do you mean to them that are bruised? Well, we go over here to the Greek meaning of that word bruised, and it's strao, to be oppressed, downtrodden, a figurative speech, an extension of an object broken into pieces, bruised, to people who are there. Well, you look around, we look downtrodden, we're oppressing ourselves, we're beating our own damn people to the ground, literally. But who am I to say anything? Well, who are you to tell me anything otherwise either? On what principle and what level of morality do I stand on? Do you stand on? Well, as far as police brutality is concerned, I see the neck you kneel on. The vets and our armed servicemen and women, the field upon which you stand with the national anthem playing. Where are we? Where do we stand and why? Well, let's go to one of the defining things, it's in Exodus 20. Here it is. I got it pulled. And God spoke these words, saying, I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Same thing, remember? It's all intertwined, man. 10 Commandments, baby. You shall have no gods before me. You shall not make for yourselves a carved image in any likeness or anything that is in heaven or above, that is on the earth or below it, or that is in the water or in the depths of the sea. You shall not bow down to them, nor serve any of them. For I, the Lord, am your God. I am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children to the third and fourth generation of those who hate me, but showing mercy to thousands and to those who love me and keep my commandments. When was the last time you heard that? You shall not take the name of the Lord God in vain, for the Lord God will not hold him guiltless who takes the Lord's name in vain. Remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord God, and in it you shall do no work, you, nor your sons, nor your daughters, nor your male servant, nor your female servant, nor your cattle, nor your stranger who is within your gates. For in 6 days the Lord made it heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and he rested on the seventh day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it, made it holy. Honor your father and mother, that your days may belong upon the land which the Lord your God has given you. You shall not murder, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not steal, you shall not bear false witness against your neighbor, you shall not covet your neighbor's house, you shall not covet your neighbor's wife, nor his male servant, nor his female servant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, nor anything that is your neighbor's belonging. That's it. That's it. So, all right. Have you done any of these? If you've broken one, like me, you've broken all, like me. But the difference between you and I is, man, every day I do a gut check. Every day I do a heart check. And I'm no better, and my own family can attest to it, than the dude next door, man. There's nothing different between me and you. What do you do on a daily basis to keep your heart and your mind solidified to the things that are pleasing, holy, and acceptable, not just to God, but to your neighbor? You know, what are the things you talk about? What are the things you accept in your household, in your life? So as you do a thorough examination of what's going on, you find yourself there. And what I mean by there is comparable to somebody else's righteousness. That doesn't mean you condemn yourself if you're not as holy, quote unquote. That doesn't mean you damn yourself because you can't, you don't have the ability. And at the end of the day, look, man, I love you. There's nothing you can do about it, right? So the best thing we can do is check ourselves, examine where we stand, believe in what we believe in, love God, love each other to the best of our ability, the best of our knowledge, and we can't go from there. We can't go wrong from there. So that's my religious deal for today. You know, we talked about what Jesus said, red letter. And my deal about that is, you've seen the videos in the past. If you haven't, go check them out. I do a little rant on it. But for the most part, you know, if somebody dies for you, man, golly, there's something in that soul. There's something in that heart. There's something in that spirit. And listen to it. Listen to him. Listen to it. So, am I worthy? Nah. Do I think so? Nah. Do I care? Nah. It's just moving forward. Another day, another life, another soul reached to be better than I was yesterday, than you were yesterday. We've covered this. So it brings us to the political sphere. And, look, right here. You know, to understand your foundation, you have to, know where you're going. But you don't know where you're going if you don't know where you come from. Who built the foundation? What does it mean? Where are we going? So politically, it's a circus, man. I think it's like the Democrats of today are not Democrats of yesterday. Now, I grew up Democrat. My mama would be like, oh, we Democrat. It's okay. So growing up, from my understanding, and then going to high school, and then not really caring or paying attention too much, but the Democrats of yesterday, man, are really like Republicans today. And the Republicans today are really like Democrats of yesterday. And the Democrats today are nothing I am familiar with, except that I read the things in Marxism, Karl Marx and all that. So how do I know that? Well, I've been showing the books and stuff, getting into the Constitution, Foundation, getting into the Bill of Rights, Declaration of Independence, Federalist, others know it as the Federalist Papers. But we, the people, are really concerned about what's happening with our country in a political sphere. So what am I? What do I consider myself as? Well, this guy, Mark Levin, oh boy, he helps me articulate, I guess, in my own mind, because he breaks down what he is, and I see what I'm not. See, I'm not so much hardlined as he is on a lot of issues, but at the same time, I understand why he is. Salt of the earth, man, downright originalist, conservatism, preserving that in which has been established in the past, and not to alter so much so for the sake of history or for the sake of precedence as far as law review and such is concerned. But going back to the old mantras that the freedoms and liberties that have been bestowed upon us are not that from government, but that from nature, and nature's God. Unalienable rights, unchangeable. We don't get our freedoms from a group of people putting themselves in a position of power in order to dictate unto us what they think we should be doing or how much we should be paying. Negative. Freedoms, liberties, self-preservation, property, liberty. Say it like him now. These are the things that I hold true to my heart. These are the things that you hold true to your heart. But I'm not going to make you, and I'm not going to want to shift law to make you believe how I believe. Some people have done it in the past. This is true. But you're doing it to me now. Won't stand for it. Can't. Won't. That's all I got to say about that. Take a break. Some of you might have seen the Yugoslavian lady post her video about her country. We're going to go over a little clip here, and some of you haven't seen it. I'll figure out how to do the link and all that. And all you got to do is type in Yugoslavian issues warning. All you got to really do is type Yugo, Yugo, and it'll be Slavian issues warning. But here we go.
At this point, people were still not completely divided. There were still reasonable people left, those who understood we are all one nation under God, and that we will not kill each other under any circumstances. They went out protesting together, singing for peace and holding their hands. But the hunger for the absolute power of socialists was stronger than our love for each other, and shootings and attacks at protesters continued. In the next phase, the tipping point with no return was reached. People started erecting barricades at the entrance of their cities, their neighborhoods, even on highways and roads. Barricades were guarded with armed civilians. Each and every attempt of the law enforcement to remove barricades and to de-escalate the situation was in vain, since they would be ambushed and killed. Peace couldn't be restored anymore, because headlines, photos and videos of dead people propagated through mass media became too explicit and horrifying. Even those hardcore idealists who believed in one nation under God, peace and love, snapped under the pressure. At that point, army was deployed to restore order, but they couldn't do much, because they were clueless about who was the perpetrator and who was the victim. Simply because there were perpetrators and victims on both sides. In the final stages, even the army was attacked during the negotiated retreat, and 50 or 100 soldiers were killed. And just like that, Yugoslavia found itself in a civil war. City against city, village against village, family against family, and so on until the whole territories became cleaned of the members of the enemy group. Genocide, ethnic cleansing, relocation of hundreds of thousands of people were everyday news. It lasted 4 years.
Scary stuff. Having said that, you guys might want to pay attention a little bit. I've been reading a book basically about presidency and his plenary power. I've been reading a book called Surprise, Kill, and Vanish by Annie Jacobsen. Very hot lady. Nevertheless, I digress. But she talks about the CIA in this book and how badass they are, jumping out of planes and parachutes and stuff, and enemy lines. These dudes and chicks, mind you, ladies, badass people. Now, people want to bark, and they want to set fire, and they want to destroy and claim a region of the United States and call it their own. Listen, these guys, y'all better, man, look, y'all better not pout. Y'all better not cry. I'm going to tell you why. CIA be creeping, coming to town. He knows when you've been sleeping. He knows when you be awake. He knows if you've been bad or good. So stop burning shit for goodness sake. Yeah.